Tales of Yarnia. This is episode 39, and this is a podcast all about knitting, sometimes crochet, and anything to do with fibre that I get up to. I'm coming to you from Cheltenham in the UK, where I live with my other half Jimmy and our yellow Labrador Jonah. You might have seen his tail wagging just at the start there. And it's been a little while since I recorded, so sorry about that. Life just got a little bit busy and I needed some time on my days off just to relax and not feel like I was needing to do anything. I just needed a bit of time out just to relax and actually get some knitting done. I think since I last spoke to you, we've been to Devon. I don't think I've recorded since we got back. So I will try and include some footage of the different places we went to. We were staying with my grandparents in Devon. They live in South Devon, near to Kingsbridge and Salcombe and that sort of area. So it's really pretty. And we managed to do lots of lovely walks with Jonah. Went to the beach and visited Dartmoor. And where else did we go? We went to some really lovely villages and it was really, really nice. We really enjoyed ourselves and it was exactly what we needed. So we've been back for a few weeks now and life has carried on as normal. We're back into the routine of work and work. But I have been making some time to... Oh, Jonah, no, not the squeaky bit. No. I think I was saying I have been making shush. He's got his squeaky snake toy which he's obsessed with now. It's got squeak, it's basically a big long snake which has got squeakers in loads of compartments. Some of them are broken, but some of them are not. And he has had a big walk, so he should be tired. He's lying down, completely on his side, just biting this toy. Please stop now. If he carries on, I'll have to take it off him. Yeah, what was I saying? I have been making some time to just do some crafting. I sort of feel like I'm hibernating now that the weather's getting cooler, because it's my favourite thing to do. And I've got like the candles on, Netflix, got my knitting, coffee. That's all I need. So yeah, it's hibernation season. Who else really likes to hibernate when it gets cooler? Obviously, it's not autumn everywhere, but for those of you enjoying autumn at the moment, is that what you like to do as well? Sorry about him. Okay, we've got a couple of things to cover. Got quite a lot to show you. Got quite a few FOs as well, so I hope you're excited to see everything that I've been doing. So, first thing I wanted to speak about was the knit-along that we've currently got going on, and that is the Season of Socks KAL. If you want the full details of the rules and everything, I would recommend going to the threads on my Ravelry group, which is called Tales of Yarnia. I'm pretty sure it's called that. I will include a link to that down below anyway, because I can never remember the name of my own Ravelry group. It's just one of those things. There's certain things I can just never remember. I don't know why. My brain isn't the best brain ever. Anyway, Season of Socks KAL is running until the end of November. I will show you what I'm knitting a little bit later as part of the KAL. Obviously, I'm not entering because I am hosting, but I want to join in and knit an autumnal pair of socks with you guys. So if you aren't aware, I'm calling it the Season of Socks KAL because I want to include not just autumnal socks for people in the Northern Hemisphere, but for people in the Southern Hemisphere, it is currently spring, so I don't want to leave out half of the world. So if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you can knit a pair of spring socks. And the only requirement really is that your socks in some way represent the season where you, which is currently happening where you live. So yeah, that's the main bit of news about the KAL. I have shown one of the prizes before. I've got a couple of others which should be in the post soonish, coming to me. And I have also had a lovely message from Hikari of Hikari Handmade, and she's going to donate one of her sock-sized project bags for the KAL. So I will include a picture of that here somewhere. Hopefully, if I move to the side, then hopefully I can fit it in here. But she's not sending it to me just so that we can sort of save money on customs and postage and all of that stuff. So it's just a bit easier if she's going to send it directly to the winner when it comes to it. But there is one saved that she's put by for the KAL. So thank you so much, Hikari. It's so kind of you. And whenever I look at him, he just freezes and stops moving. Oh my gosh, so funny. Right, so I'll show you the other prizes as and when they come in. And yeah, I am also going to draw a couple of prizes on Instagram soon because we're about halfway through the KAL, and those will just be winners. The winners of those will receive a copy of one of my patterns. So I will be doing that soon on Instagram, as you can enter on both the Ravelry thread and Instagram. So double chance of winning. Okay, that was that. So next up, I've got a little giveaway from the lovely Geordie Knits, who is Katie. She is Geordie Knits on Instagram, and I believe she's also Geordie Knits on Ravelry, and she also has a podcast here on YouTube, and I'll include links to all of those just down below. So I've recently sort of been getting in contact with Katie and sort of getting to know her. We've been messaging a little bit, and we each decided to gift each other a pattern and another to give away on each of our respective podcasts. So I've got a pattern to give away. The winner can choose any of Katie's patterns, which are available to buy on Ravelry, and all I want you to do to enter is just to comment down below on this video saying what it is you're enjoying the most about this time of year, wherever you are in the world, because I'm just really excited about autumn at the moment. I'm really enjoying and having the excuse to just stay inside because it's raining. So what are you enjoying? What's your favourite thing about this season, or about whatever season it is where you are at the moment? And next time I podcast, I will pick a winner from the comments and announce who wins. Okay, so that was it for all the sort of admin announcements, all that stuff. And now we're on to the knitting. Okay, so I have one pattern. I have one pattern, I think, which has been released since our last podcast. I think the Astronomer Shawl was already out or was nearly out by then, so I'm not going to show that again because I've got so much else to show you. But there is another pattern which I've released since, and that is the Cinnamon Apple Socks. So I think I have shown the shorty pair before. This is the shorty pair. There is another one over here, but I couldn't be bothered to put that on the sock blocker, so. This is the shorty pair. I have been wearing them, so they might have dog hair on them, but that's what knits are for wearing. And then here is the full leg version. So both versions are included within the pattern on Ravelry. There's quite a few different configurations to do. It's written for 3 sizes. I've written it for toe up and cuff down construction, and there's both a shorty version and a full leg version. So these ones are actually going to be a Christmas gift for someone. So I have not been wearing these, and they should all still be nice. Yeah, you can sort of see there's a texture pattern on the front of the sock. I left it stockinette on the back just so that you get to do a bit of plain knitting as well. And each colour change section is a slip stitch section. So yeah, they're really, really fun to knit actually. And my friend Becky from the Bird Box podcast has just started a pair, and I think she's really enjoying them. I think she's doing like a neon sort of pair, so I think she's like halfway through them already. So because she is the fastest knitter that I know. But yeah, so here are nearly all of the cinnamon apple socks. It's really fun to see the different versions that people come up with. It's more of a very detailed recipe, which allows you to make decisions and different configurations and all that stuff. So here we go. So yeah, I used so many different yarns to make these that I don't know if I could name them all. A lot of them were from my Dandelion and Dogwood advent calendar from last year, which were leftovers from my, was it the Dust of Snow, which I still haven't finished, but I'm hoping to pick it up when it's winter again. Yeah, a lot of them were from that. A lot of them were minis, which I was gifted, or just leftovers from other sock projects. So yeah, but these ones, the shorty pair, I used a mini, or it was a 10-gram mini set, so 50 grams in total from Pixie Yarn, and I think they're called the Hey Little Apple Blossom. So it was Apple Blossom, I think, and I love them. So that's those. And I've now got a few FOs. This was one of the FOs. Haven't finished that the last time, I don't think. So, the main FO that I have, the biggest one, is one I'm currently wearing. And it's my new sweater design. On your bed. Go on your bed. Good boy. Lie down. Lie down. Jonah, lie down. Good boy. Okay, so the main FO that I've got to show you is my new sweater design, which I'm currently wearing. So I'll stand up, or I'll try and show you the full thing. Oops. So here we go. This is my currently unnamed sweater. It's my first colourwork sweater design. Oops. It's my first garment with proper sleeves, like full-length sleeves that I've designed. So this is it. It's got quite a lot of positive ease. You can sort of see it's really cozy. I just wanted to make a sweater that was going to be just really simple and easy to style and just easy to throw on with jeans or whatever. And something which was just going to be really cozy. So it's a colourwork yoke knit top down. I have done some short row shaping in the back, and there's a little detail at the bottom as well, with a bit of colourwork. And yeah, I'm really pleased with how this has turned out and the shape. I wanted quite a boxy fit. But then the sleeves are fairly fitted, especially along the forearm, which I think is more flattering than having huge baggy sleeves, and gives a bit of shape to the garment then. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with how this has turned out. So I'll sit down again now, and the different yarns. I know, it's a lovely toy. There it is, the snake. Or the snake's head, anyway. I know. Right. Yeah, the yarn I've used is Let Lopi, and I think it's a worsted weight yarn, and I brought down a house. You're gonna lie down. He just wants to play all day. I know. This podcast is going to take about 2 hours if you don't lie down quietly, Jonah. And then it'll be longer until I can play with you. Good boy. He's melted next to the chair now. I can't remember all the different colours that I used. Yeah, sorry. But once the pattern is released, you'll be able to see the different colours on there. And if anyone's really interested and bothered about it, I'll just ask and I'll try and answer the question. I'll just have to dig out the ball bands. Oh no, I have written it. I've written it in the pattern which it's currently in testing. And I'm hoping to release the pattern around the end of November. So yeah. That's the main FO. Excuse me. And then, after I finished that, I went a bit crazy with hats. And I've designed 2 hat patterns. The first one is this one, which is the acorn hat. See if I can put it on for you. Oh, it goes quite cool. Quite nicely with the sweater. But my hair is insane. because of the glasses. I'll take these off. So yeah, here is the acorn hat. So those of you who have been watching the podcast for quite a long time will remember the acorn socks, which I designed about a year ago, I think. And I love the lace motif so much I decided it should be on a hat, not hidden in shoes. So, well, on the leg anyway. So I really enjoyed knitting this. It's DK yarn, and I've added this cool pom-pom. The yarn is Mr. B's yarn, of course, because I think at least 50% of everything I knit is with Mr. B's yarn. And it's on their DK base in the Jasper colourway. And I saw this at Flock and I couldn't resist it. So I would really love to make a sweater out of this one day. This goes really well with sweater. I hadn't tried these two on together before. But yeah. Yay! So there we go. This is the acorn hat. This is nearly in testing. I've partly written up the pattern, and one of the things I was meant to do today is write up the pattern. See if you can. So it's got the sort of acorn motif here. An acorn, by the way, is Old English for acorn, which is why I named the socks and the hat acorn. And it's got these little cables just to break up the stockinette and keep some interest around the other side. So yeah, I really enjoyed knitting this and designing it, and I really love how this pom-pom looks with it. I think all of the pom-poms that I've bought for my hat designs have been from Two Little Rainbows, who I found on Etsy and Instagram. She's based in the UK, and they're really reasonable. So they are faux fur, all of them, just to let you know. And yeah, I'd really recommend them. They come with this sort of stuff to weave in, sort of to tie them on and weave them in, which is really good. So really sturdy and strong and super fluffy. She does loads of different colours. I really love them. The one from my Jonah hat was from there as well. And then the juniper hat didn't have a pom-pom because Jimmy didn't want the fluffy pom-pom on his hat. But yeah, so that's the acorn hat. That will be ready for testing soon. And if you're interested in wanting to look out for the testing opportunities, follow me on Instagram. I did used to send out an email, but it's just an extra step which I don't need. I'm very busy trying to fit this in around my day job. So that was the acorn hat. And the second hat design, I forgot to say, this will be available in 2 sizes, a medium and a large. That was Jonah sighing. Apparently my podcast is really boring. It's very rude. Anyway, this is the next hat design. After I finished the acorn hat, I felt like that was too soon, and I needed another hat to wear. To knit. And I wanted to do one which had some mohair in. So the yarns that I've used are this DK yarn from the lovely Ishrat of Fruitful Fusion. Oh, sorry, I've got some hair on there. I do look after my yarn, I promise. This was from Fruitful Fusion, the lovely Ishrat, who I met at Yarningham for the first time, and this is what I bought from her stall when I met her there. So it's a really special skein to me. And I decided, I was knitting, no, I wasn't knitting. I was in Bath visiting, and I met up with Claire and Becky of the Bird Box podcast. And unfortunately, Kate couldn't make it. Our friend Kate couldn't make it that day, but I am meeting her later on this month, I think. So I was in Bath and I went to Woolbath and found this beauty, which is from, who was it dyed by? It's from Dye Bath. This is the tag, and it is 50 grams of kid silk mohair. So 72% kid mohair, 28% silk, and it's the Mermaid Lagoon colourway. Oh, I forgot to say what colourway the Fruitful Fusion was. This is the ball band for the Fruitful Fusion, and it's 25% nylon, 75% superwash merino, DK weight in the Tidal Wave colourway. So we've got Tidal Wave with Mermaid Lagoon, and I thought these two went together really well. So I thought they'd make a really, really cosy, fluffy hat. Just look at the floof. So, and here is what I came up with. I kind of really like how the yarn is like spiraled and pooled around. So one side of the hat, this is the back, because that's where it's like, is lighter than the front. And then I've got the this pom-pom, which I just tied on from Two Little Rainbows. And I just wanted something that had like very big cables. That was my prerequisite for this design. And I wanted some interest on the brim with a bit of a zigzag and some twisted stitches. So there you go. And I think this one will probably also be in 2 sizes, but I haven't even thought about writing this one up yet. I've got to write one hat up at a time. I can't speak. I'm just... Shall I just mime the podcast? Because I cannot speak today. Yeah, I really love how this one turned out. And it's so warm and fluffy. It's going to be hat season soon. I know in some places it's already hat season. Like where Hikari lives, she posts pictures of it snowing already in October. It's crazy. And yeah, she's already wearing hats and things. So yeah, this is... I haven't got a name for this one yet. I'm thinking something to do with frost or snow. I don't know. If you've got any suggestions, let me know. So those are all of the FOs. Wait, no, they're not. I lied. Well, the other one isn't a knitting FO, but do you remember the kit for the woven necklace from Stitching Me Softly, which I showed you last episode? Well, I made one of the necklaces. I've got 2 other colours to make, but and I'll wear it next time. I just didn't think it looked quite right with this sweater, because it's a bit more dressy, or like a bit fancier looking. I don't know if you can see the gold. Yeah, you can see the gold in the thread. But yeah, it was so quick to make. It took me less than an hour. This is the first time I've done any sort of weaving. Or macrame. I think it's macrame. Yeah, first time I've ever done it. And I made a necklace! I really do like how it looks on. And I've got a... Is it a green one? I can't remember what colour I bought. I think it's a forest green and a mustard yellow that I've got to make as well. So yeah, need to get cracking with those. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I would definitely recommend those kits. They are super fun. Okay, so we're on to whips. Just have a sip of my drink. It's just some squash because I'm a child. Okay. Which whip shall I show you first? I'll show you my socks, which I'm knitting as part of the cowl first, because we've spoken about that, so that makes sense. Okay, so they are living. I know, it's exciting, isn't it? Joe gets really excited by the Socks for Dobby bag. I absolutely love it. This was it was a present which I received from my friend Kate, but the maker of the bag is called Mrs. QB on Instagram. And I will link to her Etsy shop. Yeah, absolutely stunning. It's all stitched on. Absolutely love it. Little Dobby. Right. So I am knitting some stripy socks and the yarn. I'll show you the yarn first. And the yarn was from Nomadic Yarns, and this is her colourway called The Burrow, which is a Harry Potter inspired colourway, which is, I thought it was perfect with the bag. So, isn't it just stunning? I love it. Wait till we see it knit up. So I've got one sock which I finished, and I'll just steal a sock blocker from my other socks. Yeah. So this is one finished sock. Isn't it gorgeous? I got it on the Tweedy base, which I just love so much. I've never used a Tweedy yarn before, but I think I saw how this knit up on a Tweedy base on Nomadic Yarn's Instagram page, and I had to get it on the Tweedy one. I couldn't not, because just look at those. It is beautiful. So yeah, this is, I just thought these colours were just so autumnal. I just had to knit this for the season of Socks KAL. And I have started the second one. Rhoda, calm down. I'll have to just take the snake away. Lie down. I know. Lie down. I forgot to say the heel is not part of the yarn. It is leftovers from my dandelion and dogwood advent calendar, so it's actually sparkly. But I just thought that was super autumnal as well, and that colour go really nicely. So I'm going to try and use that same colourway on the second sock, but I have also got this similar one, which I can use if I run out. So yeah, that's the finished one, and I have started the second sock, so there is no second sock syndrome. As soon as I cast one off, I have to cast the other one on. Okay, I know. And here we go. So I'm just past the ribbing And I am knitting these cuff down and this little progress keeper. Little polymer clay, I think, pumpkin is from Jiggles and Beans. I absolutely love her progress keepers. She's based here in the UK, and I absolutely love her. So, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, so I'm knitting them cuff down, and the heel that I'm using is the New Depths heel by Becky Sorensen. And a few different sizes are included in her heel pattern. And it's pretty good for people with a large instep like me. So, because I just can't get on with the afterthought heel. It stretches the yarn so much across my instep. And it becomes like quite uncomfortable as well. So I way prefer this heel. So I'd really recommend that, especially if you've got a high instep. Okay, so here we go. Just pop this away, because otherwise I end up with everything everywhere when I podcast. I'm already ending up with a pile of stuff. I'm trying to be tidy. Okay, so that was the first defo. Then I'll move on to my second defo, which is living in my homespun house bag, which I've had for years. I think this is probably one of the first bags that I've had. I don't know. It came as part of a kit years ago, and it had llamas on, so I had to buy it. So that was that. Living in here is my Spectre sweater. And I think the last time you saw this, I was about halfway through the body. And since then, since finishing this sweater, I decided I need to get back and finish that because I really want to wear it. And I really love the yarn as well, and the pattern. I love everything about it. So here is where I'm up to now. Ta-da! So the Spectre is a pattern by Joji Locatelli, and it has this beautiful detailed yoke, which is it twisted stitches? No, they're not twisted stitches, but it's sort of like little cables, and there's this little like bud stitch, which is really pretty. Here, this is the bud stitch. Yeah, I really love the design, and the rest of it is a ribbing. But you actually knit, once you get past here, you actually knit it all inside out. I have turned it back around just to show you what the sweater will actually look like. I finished one sleeve. I have tried it on and it does fit, but it's meant to have a few inches of positive ease, and it doesn't currently have that, but I know because it's ribbing. Let me just try and show you with the body. Because it's ribbing, it's like super stretchy, and it's just sort of, because it hasn't been block jet or anything, I think is probably the reason. It's just sort of reverting back. So I think that's probably how it possibly should be, but it's just sort of like squishing itself up. So like when you look on the inside, you can't even tell really that it's ribbing. Whereas if you do that, you sort of can. So I think it's just sort of, when I've tried it on, it's sort of like clinging to the body a bit, but there is room for it to stretch a bit. So I did do the body a little bit longer just to account for that. So I'm hoping it will be okay, but we will see. We will see. And then twisted rib. I really love twisted rib on the cuff and the body, but oh my goodness. The ribbing on the body took me forever. The main bit takes no time at all. It's the ribbing, twisted ribbing, because you have to twist the pearls. I've never done that before. So there we go. And I have got a little progress keeper just here, because that's the side that I'm working on. And it's this little beaded pumpkin? It's not a word. It's a little beaded pumpkin, which is from the Corner of Craft. And Hannah makes the most amazing beaded stitch markers. I think they are all glass beads. Are they glass? Or are they? I can't tell. But they're so delicate and they're strong, but like so detailed and pretty. Like, look at the pumpkin, he's got little rosy cheeks. So yeah, I had to put him on here. And I can't wait to wear this. So hopefully that should be finished in, I'm hoping to finish it in a couple of days. So let's see what happens with that. I've been fairly monogamous with the projects, and that's been working quite well for me because I've been finishing things, so that's quite fun. Right. Okay, there's one more whip, and then I've got a few things for future knitting / acquisition, and then a bit of spinning. Well, not really. But I have been spinning. I've just not got anything to show for it yet. Okay, so my last whip is living in my lovely thimble and thread bag. The little mushrooms and foxes. I think it's just perfect for this time of year. It's so pretty. And it's just really great, like sock sack, which I can just throw in another bag because it really squishes down. It's just sort of like really easy for travel knitting. So living in here is a new pair of socks, and it's just a really, hang on, I'm getting the yarn twisted around. And these are going to be a pair of socks for a member of my family, and I don't want to say who they're for yet because this person might watch. But Mum, it's not you if you're thinking that. I think she's the main person that watches. Okay, so the yarn is the Merlin colourway from Mr. B's yarn, and this is on their Hiddleston 4-ply, which is perfect for socks. This is just like a really lovely neutral with so many speckles in. I'll show you what I've done so far. So I'm just doing like a pretty basic ribbed sock, just because because they're going to be a pair of socks for a gift, I want them to be really stretchy, and just that will help with the fit of the sock. If I've done it slightly too big, I just thought that would be quite sensible. So here we go. I've just done a 2x2 rib. I'm not following a pattern, it's just my own sort of sock recipe that I do, which is pretty much included in all of my sock patterns that are cuff down. I decided to do cuff down just because that's what I felt like doing. And I've got my little avocado from Hannah of the Corner of Craft. You have to see the beads around the edge. They're like iridescent and all fancy. The fanciest avocado I have ever seen. But yeah, so I'm really enjoying this. It's just, I've not made that much progress just because I've been fairly monogamously working on the Spectre sweater. But this is just like really easy to pick up and knit on for travel knitting and that sort of thing. So yeah. Just look how the yarn knits up. It's just so pretty. I'll show you the back as well. Sorry, that's Jonah having a massive drink. Oh God. I was speaking to someone about the noise that he makes on the podcast recently and how it's just like, I think it was Becky I was speaking to, and how Jonah's just like so loud, especially when he drinks. Sounds like I've left the tap running or something. Or someone's just splashing a bucket of water around the room. Which thankfully they're not, it's just my dog having a drink. Anyway, these are I'm just calling them my Merlin socks because that's the colourway. So yeah, really enjoying those. I know. I'm not playing right now, I can't. But the sooner you let me show all of the things, the sooner I can play with you. Okay, so I've not really got any spinning to show. I think I showed the bobbin last time. I'm still spinning the singles from the Witchcrafty Lady fibre, which is all like kind of well, it's sort of pastel neons is how it's turning out. It's the actual braid. I'll just go and show. I'll just go and get it. Okay, so here's the fibre. So you sort of see what I mean. It's got like, it's definitely got neons in there. But when it's spun up, it sort of ends up like a pastel neon. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And I think I'm spinning up the singles fairly fine. I'm doing a 3-ply, so I finished the first bobbin and I'm about halfway through the second bobbin. So all I did before I started spinning it was I undid, it was in a big braid of fibre, and I just like undid it all, laid it all out in a little snake or a big snake on the floor, and I just split it into 3 because I knew I wanted to do a 3-ply. And yeah, I'm not very technical when it comes to my spinning technique. I think part of the fun of it for me is I like to just have a go at spinning something at whatever thickness or however fine I feel like it looks nice coming out, and then experiment of it and just ply it up and just enjoy however it turns out and just be excited with whatever I end up with. I was kind of vaguely hoping that this would turn out at sort of a DK weight so that I can knit a cool neon hat out of it when it turns out, once I've plied it as a 3-ply. But I have no idea what it's going to turn out at, and I kind of like that about spinning. I'm not like that at all when I come to knitting something, because obviously when you're knitting something you want it to fit and all that sort of thing. And I think because I'm so stringent and like controlled with my knitting, I feel like spinning for me, I go to the complete other opposite end of the spectrum, and I like to just, I like the freedom of thinking, I'm just going to enjoy spinning this, and I'm just going to be excited about, like, half the fun is not knowing how it's going to turn out, and I really enjoy that about spinning. So yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm not too bothered about the techniques either. I try different drafting techniques within the same spin as well, and I'm just sort of like, oh, I wonder how I get on with sort of like doing it this way. And I think sometimes I'm just sort of like making it up as I go along, but I'm enjoying it, so does it matter? I don't think it does, because it's crafting and it's individual to everyone. And the main thing is that you enjoy your craft, so in that respect, I'm doing it right. Okay, so that was spinning. And then the last bit I wanted to talk about was a bit of future knitting. So the next thing I want to cast on, I think, is a shawl. I have got plans. I want to make a shawl again. And I already had these three all in my stash. And I was just I was pairing them together because initially I was looking at these two skeins of Mr. B's yarn for a hat. So this is the Hiddleston 4-ply by Mr. B on the Duchess colourway. And it's just such a lovely sort of pinky mauve. It's gorgeous. And then this is also Mr. B's yarn on their Timberlake lace, which is 72 28 kid mohair silk. So, and it's 50 grams. Just look at how floofy that is. And the colourway for that one, I can't remember if I said, was fuzzy mauve. So it's Duchess and fuzzy mauve. And I would just like playing with my stash and pulling things out and seeing how they look together, as I sometimes like to do of an afternoon. And I saw this one next to them. Now this is Lay Family yarn, and this is their 75/25 merino superwash merino nylon, and it's on their Quirrell colourway. And I've had this in my stash for possibly nearly a year. I can't remember. I've had it in my stash for a little while. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I love it. And I just saw it together with these two. And just trying to see the best way to hold it up. And I just thought, wouldn't that make such a gorgeous shawl? I just thought it would be really cool. So, yeah. What do you think? Do you think they go together nicely? Absolutely love them together. I just think they complement each other really well. And there's enough of a difference between these two because this has got so many colours in it. And I think they'll complement each other really well and just make for a really fun, pretty shawl. Yeah, I need to do a bit of brainstorming and see what I come up with. I've got an idea for what shape of shawl I would like to do, but depending on what sort of designs and stitch patterns I want to include, could change the shape of the shawl. We'll have to see. Yeah, really love how these three look together. And I've got one acquisition, which is I got in Bath as well when we went to a yarn story, and I picked up this skein of Labianime, and this is on their sport base, and I'm not sure if you can like sort of tell the depth of the colour. It's sort of very, it's sort of like it is like a very cold purpley dark grey, almost black, but it's definitely a dark grey, but sort of a purpley. It's getting blown out a little bit. But yeah. So I had in mind, because I already had at home a couple of skeins of hand-dyed sport weight yarn, and one is actually by Labby Anime, which I bought on a previous trip to a yarn story. So I thought these two would go perfectly together, maybe for a shawl design in the future. Because I've had this in my stash for about a year, and I keep looking at it and I love it so much and I really want to knit it. And I just needed the right combination. Yeah, so the one I've just purchased, the colourway is Ash, and the one I already had in my stash is called Le Petit Nuage. Yeah, I think the lighter one sort of brings out more of the purpley tones in this and really shows it off. I think they will go really nicely together. And I think it'd be really fun to do a sport weight shawl. Something which isn't quite DK, but a bit more like squishy and a bit more body to it, excuse me, than a fingering weight shawl. I think that could be really fun. I was also thinking about this other one which I have in my stash, which is a sport weight yarn that's hand dyed. But I'm not going to talk about who the dyer is because they've not been exactly helpful in the whole discussion about inclusivity and diversity. So instead of just not including the yarn at all, I'm just not going to promote who it is that's dyed it. But I do appreciate the colours and the artistry that they have created in this skein. And I thought, initially, I had these two paired together in my stash, but I just thought there's not enough of a contrast between them to do a design. And when I brought this one home, I thought, these three together could be really good. I don't know whether to just include these two or include the third one. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, so I've got a few, I think I'm feeling a shawl design coming on because I've been pairing these things all together. Do you do that? Do you like to just look through your stash and sort of pair things together and think, oh, what could this become? Like, you sort of feel like certain things just want to be with each other. So, yeah, I think that's all I had to talk about. So don't forget to enter the giveaway for a pattern from the lovely Katie, who is Geordie Knits, by commenting below what you are really enjoying and what your favourite thing is about this time of year. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed what I showed you today, what I've been working on. I hope you are enjoying this season wherever you are in the world, and you're getting some time to craft and knit. Apologies about Jonah's disruptive behaviour today. He is oblivious to what he's doing. So on that note, I'm going to end the podcast here. I hope you all have a lovely couple of knitty weeks till I speak to you again soon. And I'll try not to make it as long a time in between, but sometimes it can't be helped and I have to look after myself first. So yeah, see you soon. Bye.